So welcome all. Thanks for joining this session, Career Go community, where we help enable, empower job seekers searching for jobs for IT in Canada. In those difficult times, we work together to get you to your dream job, to the job that you love. So this call is going to be shared in social media and YouTube for wider impact and for everyone's benefit. So our promise, if you continue showing up in those sessions, if you continue applying what you learn here today, you will get hired within 3 to 6 months, and that's already happened before. Several times, I've coached and mentored more than 100 people in the last 4 years, and when they apply the practice, they get hired. You will not walk alone. We'll help you. There is people in this call who are eager to support you. Just ask, be curious, and share what you learn also with others. When you teach others, you learn faster. So our goal is ambitious, and we need your help for that. So we want to get at least 1,000 plus, persons hired in 2021. Already, I got like 5+ people already in the last 2 weeks got hired through those sessions. Some of them are not, coming to those sessions because they are busy now with their new job, and that's okay. But they always need to come back because this community would help you again stay on the job as well. So our ask again is just be curious, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There is tons of great information there. Last week I spent an hour about LinkedIn, which is very important for you. There is also other previous sessions about storytelling, about how to uncover hidden jobs. So again, it's a good resource for you to benefit from. So our next sessions this Sunday, we have Nana, who is a mindset healer. She delivered lots of great keynote speaking about and she's going to be speaking today this Sunday about navigating your career with confidence. She will help you with the mindset as well. Next Thursday, I'm going to speak again about the future of work. How do you really manage jobs that is working with AI, with bots, and how you put your mindset to be ahead of the crowd there. Eventbrite, and we share our links or our registration on Eventbrite, and we use Facebook and LinkedIn groups for the registration. So if you want to continue coming to those sessions, join our group in LinkedIn or Facebook to get to have those sessions. So today I'm gonna walk you through understanding your gaps and creating a development plan to action those gaps and stay on track to avoid getting distracted. So a little bit about myself. I'm an immigrant. I came to Canada 2014. I faced lots of challenges to find the job, and I was already an IT professional. I worked with Cisco, Nokia before I came to Canada. I was doing big projects, almost like $170 million worth of budget. And when I came to Canada, I struggled. I couldn't really understand what's happening, why I'm not able to find a job that easily, and the market needs me, but I'm not able to get that job. So I started to work on myself, create my own methodology, and it worked well. Now I'm with Microsoft. I managed also to mentor hundreds of people, in the past 4 years, and get them to the job. I love helping people. I love serving others, and that's why I'm here today. So getting into the session for today, it's all about you knowing yourself. As this quote mentioned here, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And again, that's mainly what we'll work on to do today here in this session. So before I jump into the session, I want to get to know if you have any previous experience about doing assessments, or you discovered yourself fully. Do you think you know yourself fully, or you think there is thing that you're still trying to discover about yourself? Again, I'm just throwing that question here just to see if you've been able to do this about yourself before. So does anyone wants to chime in here and let me know what they think about this? And it's okay, don't be shy. You're among friends, so if you wanna come in and yeah, somebody was gonna speak.
Okay, I think I may be the first speaker.
Yeah, go ahead, brave.
Okay, so good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name is Mikoy Wright. You could call me Mike or Mickey. Um, in respect to knowledge of self, and it's been the essence of the beginning of all wisdom. I do give credence to this statement because I think in my early 20s, I had a big journey of self discovery where I realized I have a very entrepreneurial spirit with the ability to help persons achieve their goals. Need it be fitness, business, or common goals along the way. And since then, I've segued into different sectors from IT to fitness, distribution, and logistics. And I've had experiences, some good successes, and some ups and downs along the way. But it's not a straight line. The journey to self-discovery and towards success. We're all in this, especially as immigrants. We're always searching for a place to call home. Where we could earn a living comfortably, put bread on the table, and get to express our humanity, in different ways. I feel that we are beyond a career or beyond a job title. Who are you after your job industry is replaced? Especially what's going on with artificial intelligence and the exponential growth and what will is to come in the future. And I hope I'm not taking too much time, but that's my 2 cents for now. Thank you.
Well, that's very good. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, so again, as Mike mentioned, we continue to discover ourselves as we go. And now I want to speak a little bit about discovering yourself in terms of the job search today. And what I wanted to go through is why do you want to know yourself? Again, I always start with the why because it helps you, resonate. It helps you understand, the importance of the why. And what do you want to know about yourself? Again, after you know about, you know, after you know why it's important, what exactly do you want to know, and how do you use this assessment to create a development plan? So we'll go into again my story. I already spoken a little bit about it. I just want to reiterate here. I've done almost all the mistakes that you could imagine in searching for a job. I've been distracted. I went for a while to do sales for the cars. I had to do some degree. I went for even driving instructor. So again, I took so many things that took my energy, took my money, took my focus from what I really want to do, and I don't want you to do the same. So that's why today I'm gonna share with you my experience on the last 7 years from what I've been gathering in Canada. So again, the purpose of today is understanding the gaps, be able to set realistic deadlines for yourself and find out, what the market really needs and you to focus on. And this will also help you reduce the stress on your end. So because again, if you are chasing an unknown target, this is tough, I've been sending resumes left and right and no reply and I was really stressed and it was tough. So when you have a clarity on your goal, it becomes easy for you to get there. So at the end of the day, today, you should be able to create a backlog of your skills gap, find resources, how to fill those gaps, and also set an action plan with dates to finalize this plan. So again, why the assessment? If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. That's as simple as that. So you need to really be very clear of what targets are you chasing? How do you really get to those targets? When you travel, you buy a ticket, or you take your car, your destination, you put your GPS, and you know how to stop for rest, and so on. So this journey, needs some preparation, needs, to assess how much you can really drive. Maybe, for example, if I can drive for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, how long can I go further? And you know yourself better than anybody. So you focus on a clear path and bring more confidence and energy to yourself and reduce your financial stress. This is help you with the why. So again, if you have those targets, if you have those gaps clear, you know what you're challenged with, you know what is your symptoms, what are your symptoms, then it becomes easy for you to find the cure. If you don't know your symptoms, it's going to be tough. You'll be scrambling. So what are we assessing? What are we assessing, and why we're assessing those? So what we're assessing, the first thing that always affects job seekers is their financial situation. So if you're already stressed financially, you're not thinking about anything except your bills, your best bet is to go and find a survival job. It's an easy fix. You could do this soon, and then at least if there's some money coming to your bills, and paying some debt, then at least you're somehow less stressed. But if you're under debt and you're struggling, this is going to be tough for you. The second thing is the mindset. If you have the mindset that you're not going to succeed, nobody could help you. This is obvious. Your mindset affects everything. So you need to have that positive mindset. You need to make sure that you keep a check on your mind, what you're speaking about yourself, what is you're speaking to yourself about yourself, because it makes a lot of difference when you put yourself in a negative mood, or you think you're not good enough. So what we're assessing also is the skills. What is your gap? We'll have the role, the market need, and you have your skills. So there is always a delta between those two. So this delta is your gap. If you get this gap actioned, then it becomes easy for you to be recruited. Again, the education certifications, if you're missing, for example, some IT certifications to get hired, you should go and get it. And sometimes people tell me, should I go and get a degree? I tell them it depends. You don't just go and get a degree unless it's really mandatory for that job that you're targeting. So again, this is very important, because some people sometimes they go and get a degree and then discover after the degree it's still not working. So, and that's frustrating. You spend like maybe years and it doesn't work. The language, the culture gap. So again, we're all different. Everybody's coming from a different place. We need to understand what's happening here. If we want to communicate with Canadians, we want to work with Canadians, we need to understand what is Canadian mean. How do they do their day-to-day activity? What's their language? How to really make relationship. How can we really get the trust with each other? So this is exactly what we'll assess. Again, we want to know also the industry, the company that will provide you financial matching your expectations. So if, let's say, you have an expenses of $5,000 every month, and you are searching for a job that would give you only $3 a month, so that's not going to help you. At the end of the day, you will still be under debt. You will still be stressed. So you need to know what jobs, what companies, which industries will give you that 5K that you're targeting. Okay, so we'll go into the assessment itself now. And the first thing, again, it's obvious, Google yourself. This is important. You have a brand. If your brand is affecting you, nobody will call you. You need to know what the internet is saying about you, what the internet is telling others about you. So you need to Google yourself, Google your number, Google your email to see, what will come up there. Language, there is simple ways to understand if you're good in English or not, and there is tons of free assessment. I just put this one as a sample. If you want to use ILAC as a sample to check your English level, if you want to see here, for example, you could be high, medium, low, and then you will understand, what's missing, because sometimes it's all about your language. You're not able to communicate. You're not able to really deliver the message that you want to deliver. So check that. We're all coming from different countries. Sometimes English is not your first language, like myself. Then you need to be clear on where you are with your language. So for the mindset check, again, this is something that is very, very important. Without the positive mindset, nothing will work. I've been with people, I did lots of things with them. Even the job almost came to them, but their mindset was not there. Their mindset was that, they're not good enough. So even when they get hired, they feel stressed, they feel anxious, they cannot keep the job. So your mindset is key here, and all behavior, are belief driven. So if you believe that you're not good, then your behavior will show that. Mike, do you want to maybe chime in here? Any thoughts from your end?
Absolutely. And I've seen it both sides, where someone has been overconfident going into an interview and not get the job, even though he was more than qualified for the role. And then I've seen it on the other side, where the person was so shy and so timid in the interview that they couldn't actually answer the questions technically, or participate in the interview. So you get both sides. So someone, you got to tell them to tone it down, and the other ones, you got to speak up and feel more confident. Like I've said in the past, if you're being asked questions, pretend you're just discussing technology with friends, and just think of them as friends, and just react that way, which will make you more at ease to answer the questions. So
thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
So again, part of the mindset, you need to know why you're not employed. Why you're suffering. Are you, you don't know what you don't know, or you're lost in the search. You need a mentor. Do you lack confidence? You feel discriminated. Again, what are those thoughts that is in your mind that is affecting, whatever you are, today? And so again, failing into interview, or you panic, as Mike mentioned, you could be overselling, you could be very nervous, you could, show that you're not really confident or comfortable. And, this is all a mindset. So if you make your mindset believe that you're really good enough, you're able to do it, you can do it in the right way, then everything else could work. If you don't fix the mindset, nothing will work. So in terms of the financial situation, if you are in trouble financially, there is resources. There is lots of government support here, and we'll show you a little bit of that in the next few while. But again, if your mind is always busy with the bills, you will not be able to focus on the job search. So you need to get yourself out of that situation first, to be able to really search for a job, or show confidence in your values, because it will show in your face, it will show in the way you act, and it will show even in your job application. You will just send resumes without really working on it. And again, feel free to chime in, Mike, or anyone on what I'm saying here. Okay, so this is just again to show you that there is a lot of support by the government. This is income assistance for all Canadians. There is lots of scenarios where you could benefit from the government. Again, being a low income for some time doesn't make you bad. It's just a situation that is temporary, and you could pass that situation. But again, if you don't reach out, if you don't use those resources, you're even in a difficult situation. So use those resources. That's the beauty of Canada. They help everybody, and this is the country that we all love here. Okay, so
and also keep in mind that you're not alone. No one's ever alone. There's people there to help. It does make a difference where it is, government, social agencies, whatever the case may be, you're not alone. So don't be in fear and feel like you're trapped. There's always help for people out there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. So in terms of your physical health, it's very important as well. If you don't keep a track of yourself, if you don't do some activities and move on, then you're affecting yourself. So, and there is a room for everybody here in Canada. If you have some condition of disability or any thing that is affecting your delivery or your job performance, that is okay. And there is tons of jobs for people with some conditions. So, and it's just a matter of you discovering who to go for and what jobs are available for that. So again, the more you ask, the more you reach out, the more you will get answers about those jobs. So I'm gonna again put some basics here. I know that this could be maybe a bit let's say very basic, but sometimes it matters. If you don't know the holidays in Canada, if you don't know what happened in Eastern, for example, that was a few weeks back, the turkey and how people celebrate the Eastern, it doesn't give an indication that you really care about this country or you really care about staying in here. So it's important for you to understand vacations, holidays, and how Canadians interact in those days or on those holidays. Again, without going into too much details, if you don't really know a lot about those holidays, please Google it, and there is tons of videos, YouTubes about what happened on those days. It's important, because again, if you, let's say, meet somebody closer to Canada Day, so what do you normally do? What normally happens? How can you make relationship or at least make them know that what's happening on that day. If you didn't see the fireworks before, if you didn't see the celebrations, and again with COVID everything stopped for sure, but this is the day where everybody celebrates Canada. So going next, again, the provinces. Canada has 13 provinces and territory. So if you don't know those provinces, sometimes it's a sign that you don't really care. That's a sign that you're not really trying to stay here. So it's important to little bit do your homework, research what's important about Alberta, the oil maybe in Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and again, those are all available in the YouTube if you want to look at it. And it's important to at least know what's unique about each province. If you meet somebody who will tell you, I'm from British Columbia, so how can you make him or make her trust you if you don't know anything about British Columbia? So it's important to do that research.
Just to add to that, Ahmed, just for conversation piece, whenever you speak with anybody, if you learn something about what's current in Canada, what's happening in Canada, and then as you say, learn about the different provinces. So, and then you'll know the regions where they are. If you see somebody from British Columbia, if you talk to them, you said, "Oh, you're from out west. What's it like out there?" And they will chat about it, or down east, or even Nunavut or Northern Ontario or Quebec, or what I mean. You're learning about the country and you're learning about the culture, which is great for you to assimilate in with the country and the people. So it's a very good point.
Absolutely, bang on. Thanks. Anyone wants to chime in here? Any other thoughts? No. Okay. So again, this the slang language. I've struggled with this at the beginning, but what I did, I just took some notes, about those slang language, like when they say loony, it's a toonie, and it's crazy. Like, how do we really know what's TTC? And when I was at the beginning, I was saying I am searching for a job, and when I then spoke with some recruiters, they told me, "Are you in between contracts?" That's the term that they use when they say that you're searching for jobs. So those things, when you say it, it means that you're Canadian. It means like you know the market, how to speak, and how to make trust and relationship with others. Again, grab your took. Let's have a couple of pops. Again, I just put some few some few slangs that I was not aware about. When I came here. I'm feeling under the weather today. So, this is, I was not sure what was that at the beginning, and then I understood. Yeah, it's mean like somebody's not feeling well, and you don't say I am sick, you say I'm feeling under the weather today. So again, those things are very important for you when you communicate, because it helps you with your job search, and again, making trust, making relationship with others. So the next, slide here is just again speaking about, what are the different governments here. We have the federal government, we have the provincial, we have the municipal, we have the city. So what each government help you with, what each government is responsible for, because again, when you have an issue, when you are, let's say, in your job, you're working in a specific industry, let's say in transportation. If you are working in transportation, then you need to go to the federal government, for that. If you're speaking about, national defense, it's again the federal government. If you're speaking about taxes, taxes are both federal and provincial. So again, knowing those information is important for you, for your business, for your job search, because depending on which industry you're searching to work on. So going into the roles, what I used to do with myself, and this is again what you need to do, is find the top 3 roles that could fit you. Again, based on your education, based on your experience, based on what you've been doing before. For example, for me, I could either do business analyst, I could do project coordinator, I could do project manager as well. So everyone is different. You need to figure out those 3 roles, because those will affect you in your search. If you get distracted, you could maybe do something totally different, like what I did. But if you have those listed down, if you know exactly what are the 3 roles that would give you that financial that you need every month, then you are on the right track. And the more you speak with people and research, the more you will find out the best role for yourself. Again, if you have difficulty finding that role, my advice to you is do information interviews, speak with people, speak with them, do more research to get to know this. Industries, companies, again, when I came to Canada, they told me you have to list 3 industries, you have to list at least 20 to 50 companies as a wish list, companies that you really think that they could buy your service, they could buy your value, and they could hire you. So when I spoke to people, they told me that with your library card, you have a resource called Reference Canada, which is a database for all companies in Canada, and you could just filter down on the industries or the companies that really needs your role, and this would help you with your wish list. Sometimes you just think, I just want to work for Google, I just want to work for Apple, and you don't know that there is so many other companies that is hiring, and they're really ready to hire you in the list. It's just a matter of doing that homework. So a simple thing that you could do as well is find your skills gap. Again, find that role or job that you have in the internet. If you go to Indeed and you find a job that you think this is your best fit, take that job and take your resume, put both in jobscan.com, you will find, what is the, missing piece here. What is your resume saying? What is the job description saying? And then you will be able to action your resume to match that job. Because again, believe it or not, everything now go through software. So they normally check your resume through what is called ATS, applicant tracking system, that match word by word. So the more you put words from the job description in your resume, the more you get the highest hit. If you don't do this, then unfortunately you're wasting your time. So it's not about sending your resume to 20 jobs. It's doing one job right to get it. But if you keep sending one resume to everybody without tailoring it, without updating it, it doesn't make any difference. And again, unfortunately, you lose time. You think you're doing something good to yourself, but it's not. So you have to do the homework in the right way. I know it's not something that we like to do. Tailoring the resume is something that is definitely not one of our great comfort areas, but unfortunately, it is what it is. You have to do it.
So true, absolutely so true, and it happens on a daily basis with me. And I speak to people. I go through their resume. Where have you done this? Where have you done that? Where have you done this? Where have you done? And people, I'd say 80% really do not want to do much work on their resume. And then you get the other ones where I got a 26-page resume the other day from somebody who was in the government, and everything else there has got to be completely categorized, 1.1, 1.2, as you probably know. But honestly, I'd say 80% people, they do not want to really expand on their resume, which is key.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right.
Thank you, Mike. So this is a table that you want to do for yourself, and I know I'm just doing this as a sample for you to know how to really focus on which role that would give you what you need. So as you can see here, I'm comparing my status with the 3 roles that I need to work on, for example. So the degree, my status, I already have a bachelor degree in engineering. For if I let's say I work on the office admin, it's not required, so I need to remove it from the resume. If I want to work as a project coordinator, it's nice to have. If a project manager, it's a must. Number of years of experience, 3, 5, 7. Again, I don't want to read everything, but your degree, your years of experience, your languages, your soft skills, your certifications, those affects how much money you get and affects the role as well. So you need to know those before you really start applying. Because if let's say my expenses is more than 80K and I'm going for an office admin, I'm gonna be under debt all the time. I'm gonna be always stressed. So don't do this to yourself. And there is websites like levels.fi. There is website like Indeed, which tells you the salary ranges for specific jobs. Just go there and search it, and LinkedIn as well. They have the salary section, and I showed you this last week. So this is your first homework. You may need to do this on your own. Print this, keep it handy, keep it visual for yourself so that you don't get distracted. So I really recommend that this is one of your first sheets of assessment. If you want to take a screenshot, I may be able to send you this later on. If you send me your email, then I could send you this later on. But this is very important for your assessment. So this is just a quick walkthrough on the top skills that is needed for 2021. Again, based on top resume, continuous learning is one of them. So if you don't learn, if you don't really show that you are able to learn new things in this new market, it's gonna be tough for you because everything is going very fast nowadays. The market is going fast, and learning is one of the top skills that you need to have nowadays, and it needs to show in your resume. It needs to show in the way you speak. It needs to show in the interviews. Again, I'm not gonna go into those details. But if your role needs decision making and you're not good in that, so you have to take some courses. LinkedIn Learning again is available through your library card. You could just go there and take some of those courses. Time management. If you're not good in keeping track of your time, you need to take a course to help you to prioritize, to set your backlog, your priorities, and other things. Again, this is just some technical skills: change management, project management, cloud computing. Mike, do you want to add anything here?
I was gonna mention on your previous screen, whenever you had about continuing education, I know some people that have continued improving their education certification, but what they didn't do was do the adaptability and progress in their career. They may be CCI certified. They were doing a support job for the last 10 years or 12 years, so they never really updated their skill set in terms of network, design, architecture, and then now that the industry is changing, they're being left behind. Even though they've got the highest certification, network engineering, it's still, they're plateaued and they're not moving anywhere, and that's a good point right there. Ahmed, very good points.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. So, believe it or not, jobs is all about people. If you don't get people to help you, it's gonna be tough. So, the more people you have in your list, of your networking, and they could be family, friends, and colleagues. You don't really need to go and ask people, that you don't know, to be the one who help you. But again, you can start from some of your closest network, and we spoke about this in the networking session before. So in terms of numbers that count, you need to have those numbers very visible for you, very visual for you, because if those numbers are not clear, you will get distracted. You will think that there is no hope. You will think that there is nothing gonna change. So number of new jobs applied for, if you don't keep a track of that, again, you may think that you've done everything and nothing is happening. But if you track that number, then you will know how it's working. If you apply for 10 jobs and you got 0 interviews, you must change. That's obvious. You cannot continue doing the same thing that would give you the same result. It's if you keep doing what you're doing, you keep getting what you're getting. That's as simple as that. Number of skills in your strengths and experience. Again, that number needs to be always close to what the job needs. If you have that number low and your job needs, let's say 3 or 4 skills, and you have only 1 or 2, then you're losing in front of the competition. So, keep that number up to the level of the job description or the role, because, this is where, hiring manager will choose, either choose somebody who's really 100% qualified or somebody who's 50%. If you were in their place, you will definitely go with the 100%. So keep that number, visual for you. And again, number of roles that could fit you. Sometimes we think of the extreme, sometimes we go very low, and both sides are not always good. You may think you need to think realistically, what is very close to where I am today. And you start there, and then you start to develop, you start to grow and continuous learning until you keep progressing, and you reach maybe a level where you were before, or maybe even better level afterwards. But it's all about you, your mindset, your continuous learning, your continuous improvement. Number of companies that fit your target salary and roles. Again, this is something that you need to research and understand, from Indeed, from LinkedIn. What are those salaries that these companies offer you? It's very important, and I don't want to reiterate a lot here, but if you don't do this, you're shooting yourself almost, because you could find the job, you spend lots of energy and time, and then you find out the job is not giving you what you need, and then it becomes tough. again. Number of people who can help you. Again, your network is very important. That's why, we ask you to share your LinkedIn here and connect with others. This will help you grow faster. So the do's and don'ts, the first thing is, again, print your targets, keep it visual all the time, practice every day, whatever skills, public speaking, virtual speaking, be realistic in timeline, be patient and have faith, because, it takes time. You don't know what you don't know, and it's a journey. You will need some time to practice those things and get it done. Don't get distracted, from your targets, and that's why, those targets need to be visual. Otherwise, you may forget. You may, go somewhere else. Somebody of your friends, go and try this, go and try that, and believe it or not, it happened. It happened to me. It happened to so many people. It's easy to get distracted in these days. Uh, Moving on. So this slide is just a sample of, again, what you will do when you have those three roles. What are the soft skills that you need? What are the technical skills that you need for those jobs or roles? And what are the degrees and certifications? So you need to keep those clear in front of you in order to start knowing, am I really good enough in communication? Do I do a good job in presenting ideas, speaking public, coaching people, facilitating, dealing with conflict, time management and problem solving. If I'm not good in one of those, I need to start developing it. It's not difficult. You just need to practice. You need to know what it is, and then start put an action plan for it. The well-being is, again, we discussed this before, but I want you to put this as a visual. What is your mindset every day? Do you speak positively about yourself? Are you in swing? Some days are good, some days are bad. Are you negatively thinking about yourself? What is your mindset? Again, this is something that you need to keep an eye on yourself, because whatever those thoughts that you tell to yourself is affecting everything. Financial, again, if you're stressed, if you're break even, if you're good, that's something that you need to figure out on your side based on your expenses. What is the job type? Should I start with the survival? Should I start with a part-time? Should I start with a full-time? Where should I get the best hit in a short duration? So, sometimes it takes a while to be full-time. When I came to Canada, I was a contractor for at least, the first 5 years of my life here in Canada until I found, full-time job with Microsoft. So, I was searching for a full-time because I was full-time before, but, I couldn't find. And it was, just when I discovered that, maybe contracts is even better for me. And to be honest, financially, contracts are much better than full-time job. I get more money than the full-time job.
By
The more
far.
people,
And you're
yeah,
absolutely right. And about him saying about, I actually submitted Ahmed to a couple of positions, and he went in and he was very, very good. The director loved him, but she didn't have a role for him because he was a project manager and she was looking more for somebody on the infrastructure side to do the actual networking. So, but she loved him, and so we submitted him to another position, and it was unfortunate we didn't get him. But he's absolutely right on when he says that contracting pays more than a perm position. It really, truly does. Sorry, I'll just let you finish. Sorry about that, Ahmed.
no, thank you, Mike. Again, I'm almost done with the slides. This is, again, the wish list. Which company, which industry. What are the salaries? Again, keep those handy. It's important. And if you want to use hunter.co to help you with your tracking, this is a very good way. It's easy. The website called hunter.co. This could help you a lot. And again, for the salaries, you can go to levels.fyi, you go to Indeed, you go to LinkedIn salary, you go to Glassdoor. And if you want to know more about the industry, information interview is your best resource here. Again, this is a sample of development plan that you could fill. I'm not going to spend time here because we're almost on time, but this is the action plan now. So So now that we identified what are the skills that we're missing, how are we going to now action it? So you need to build a table on your own, and what are the skill type? It's soft skill or a technical skill or a business skill or a culture, and what is exactly the skill? So it's communication. So how do you do it? You're speaking. You need to you need to present in Toastmasters. You join events and speak and show your presence through camera as well. Put yourself a realistic target date, maybe like June, if this is where you are, and who can help you. You just find a coach, find a mentor, find some group activity, and how you will measure success is another important thing. Are you using and so on a lot or not? And Toastmasters do a great job in helping you with those things. So again, this is a sample development plan with an action that you could put for yourself in order to really reach that level of skills needed for that role. So if you don't put that table and make it visual, you keep a track on what you do every day, then nothing will happen. And trust me, I've been working with people whenever they know that they are lacking those things, but they don't put it in the table, they don't put a target deadline, they don't work on it weekly, nothing happened. They stay scrambling for some time. So when you have that plan, you start decomposing that plan into weekly plan. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and again, depending on the skills, you start to put this in action. Again, bits and small bite-sized chunks every day, every week. It makes that big hill. So don't see something that is very big to achieve. If you just put that target in 3 months and start putting small bits of that target every day, every week, every month, then you will achieve it. But if you don't do that, nothing will happen. So have a plan and stick to it. So in terms of resources, again, this is just a sample of the resources. So if you want to improve your soft skills, LinkedIn Learning is available through your library, YouTube, events, Udemy, Udacity, and I've been using all of those actually. In terms of certifications, Microsoft is again giving away lots of certifications for you to benefit during COVID and even after COVID. So benefit from those certifications. Google also are doing something like that. AWS maybe is doing something like that. PMI, again, depending on which role. The degrees, again, I recommend that you don't really go for a degree unless it's really matching your role or matching your end goal. Otherwise, you will be just wasting your time and energy and money as well. So for business skills, for example, Invest Ottawa, they have tons of great workshops every day all about business. You could learn a lot. You can speak much better about business if you just attend some of those free workshops. If you're in Toronto, there is also Mars in Toronto that makes a great similar workshops as well. Sometimes when you want to gain that Canadian experience, you want to go for survival jobs, do a customer service, you do a retail job, listen to listen to the radio and TV, speak more and attend events. So again, this is just a sample of the resources that you could use. So to summarize, and almost on time, the more you know about yourself and the market, the more you are in control, the more you really feel confident, the more your stress level go down, the more you have a solid plan, the more you could really get hired faster. And with proper planning, anything is possible. And there is tons of resources for you. Just do your homework, reach out, and so many people will help you. And keep your eye on your numbers. This is how you will measure your progress, and have someone to support you. It's very hard alone, and you just need somebody. Whether that somebody is your friend, your spouse, your your colleague, whoever that is, try to do this in groups. Don't do this journey alone. So it's your call. Assess yourself, or ask someone to assess you. Write down your targets. Identify the gaps, action the gaps, and keep it visual to avoid distraction. And again, I apologize if that was a big dump of information in a very short time, but I wanted to give you all my wisdom in just 1 hour, which is tough. So now I will just open it up for Q&A. Feel free to unmute and ask me questions, please.
Ahmed, I have a question.
Yes, please.
I'm not sure if it's like relevant to this session, but it's more a curiosity I have, and
Yeah.
maybe Mike can add to it, and from your experience, because I've seen some positions and some job ads saying that the preference will be given to Canadian citizens or permanent residents, and I was wondering if I would have my chance reduced, for being a student that is on a work permit or study permit, if the position does not state otherwise. So I was wondering if that preference applies to every job ad, essentially.
So if I understand you correctly, if that's written in the job description, or that's something that you assume is needed?
No, that particular position was stated on the job ad. Preference will be given to Canadian citizens and permanent residents.
But there's I'll just chime in here for a second. You can also work for any company as long as you have a work permit, which has an expiry date on it. Could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then during that work permit, most people will apply for their permanent residency, and that's how they can get a foothold into the job, in the jobs in Canada, and then get living here a long term instead of just short term. I've never had it before, unless you're on a student visa. And are you able to work on a student visa or just part-time or anything? I'm not sure. I really don't. But I've never seen an ad saying Canadian citizen or permanent resident, because those people on work permits qualify for those positions also. And I've placed people on work permits in positions.
Yes, I know that will be a requirement for positions in the government, but that particular position was for in the private sector, and I was not sure why they were giving preference to.
That's quite odd, because I do 95% of my work is in the private sector. I very seldom I do a bit of work in the government, but not very much. And I'm just speaking specifically on the private sector. So it's odd that they would have that restriction, is what it really is. Really odd. What company? I don't want you to say the company, but it's
it was a
university. If you get a work permit, was it at the university?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I really can't answer. But you can, if you have, then you're able to work for anybody. If you're on a student visa, then I guess you're limited to what you can do. I can't answer anything more than that, unless. Would you know? He's on mute.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, so I don't know. Can you, if you want to chime in on that? I'm not familiar with it at all.
What I think the case is, Mauricio, here is this company doesn't have some people to help you with your work permit, because again it's another maybe processing paperwork that they may not have the capacity to do that. So again, we're speculating here. We're not sure, but there is tons of jobs that doesn't really state anything about Canadian or work permit or because it's a labor law here. You cannot be discriminated because your status, unless you're not permissible to work. This is the only thing that they have to reject you, but otherwise you should be able to get the job.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. That was a surprise for me as well, because that was the very first time I've seen that, on a job ad. And I was just wondering if I would have my chance reduced for, applying for jobs for positions that does not state that.
And you know what? Feel free to ask the company that's hiring, and just, can you be clear on that? What is really required in terms of immigration status or work permit? And then they should be able to answer that for you clearly.
Yeah,
So,
good. Yeah, good tip, good call. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Any other questions? If you have any
we
questions,
can finish right now.
No, I'm good to say. I'm good to say. Believe me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, okay. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I hope this
Thank
was
you, everyone.
beneficial.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Hope you. Thank you so much, Mike.
Again, great presentation.
Thank you. Have a great.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice evening.
Bye.
Have a great
Bye.
one. Bye bye.